Hello, I'm Mel Mybers, and in this video I will take you through the process of creating artwork for a t-shirt. We'll be sending the graphic to a cutter and heat applying it to the shirt. The product that will be applied to the shirt is called Thermacuts, and Thermacuts are specially formulated ink sheets that look and feel like direct screen printing. The program I am using is called Inkscape, and Inkscape is a free vector graphic editor. First we have to import a picture. I'm going to go to File and Import. And we'll bring in our graphic. This will be a JPEG. There we go. And in this box here it's asking me if I want to embed or link. We're going to select Embed. And it'll bring it in at a very large size. So I'm going to have to resize this. If you look in the upper toolbar here, I can change that to inches, and you can see that the horizontal on that is 19.011 inch, which is really large, so I'm going to reduce that. The lock here, if I click on that and lock it, that way it'll change proportionally both vertical and horizontally. So again, I'm going to change that to 3 inches. A little bit off the screen here, so I'm going to go down here and grab it and bring it back up to the page. And there's our graphic. Now this is a JPEG. I'll enlarge it so we can see. I won't enlarge the graphic, but I'll zoom in on it. That way we can see the whole graphic here. Now this is a JPEG, and we're going to convert this over to a vector art. And just to show you that it's a JPEG, if you go to View here and Display Mode, and we'll go to Outline here, and you can see there is no outline. And since we're sending this to a cutter, the cutter has to have a line or a path for it to follow. So we'll go back up to View, Display Mode, and go back to Normal. And we're going to trace this and turn it into vector art. So we'll go to Path and Trace Bitmap. And in the Trace Bitmap box here, you have a lot of different options. You may want to spend some time here and find out what works best for you. Because it's a very simple one-color job here, I am just going to go to Select Gray. And the default here is 8 scans. I'm going to change that to 2. And say Update. And what Update will do is give me a preview of what it looks like. I want to make sure that all the components of the design is here. And if they aren't, then I would change the scans to maybe 3 or 4. But it looks like everything's okay here, so I'm going to say OK. And now it's actually doing the tracing. It's already traced. And now we have our vector artwork. And just to make sure here, we can go back up to View, go to Display Mode, go to Outline, and now we can see the outline. This will be the path for the cutter to follow. And we'll go back up to View and Display Mode and go back to Normal. And now this is all grouped together. There is a box you see, a rectangle going around the design. I need to get rid of that. So I need to go back up to Toolbar up here and select Object and go to Ungroup. Click off the design, click back on the design, and hit delete, and you can see my rectangle around the design here is gone. I'm going to also zoom out a little bit here so we can see it a little bit better. Now, I want to, just for visual, I want to change color on that. I want to change that to a red. And I'm going to move it over to the side just slightly because there is the design behind there is the JPEG that was originally there, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that and bring my graphic back. Now the word chew, or the kanji you see here, kind of loosely translated means devotion or loyalty. So we're going to actually type the word devotion in here. So I'm going to select my text object, my tool here, and we'll type in the word devotion. Now we're going to change the font on that. If you look in the upper toolbar here, this is our fonts. If I hit that down arrow, these are all the fonts that are installed on my computer. And the Inkscape program picks up all the fonts on in your computer. So we're going to go ahead and select Karate. There we go. Now if you do not have this font and you want it, you can go online and there's a free download, and you can go to a site called DaFont, DAFONT.com. And what they'll do, what you can do there is download. And again, you can see this is the font here. It's called Karate. You just type that into the search engine, and it is you can see here's a free download. And you get out of fact, there's just tons and tons of free fonts on this site. So wonderful site to get your fonts at. And we're going to change the size on this devotion here. So I'm going to go back up to my toolbar here. And again, it's reading in inches now. And I'm going to unlock this because I'm going to change it on the vertical and the horizontal. So on the horizontal here, I'm going to, or the vertical here, I'm going to change that to 2 inches. And on the width here, I'm going to change that to 8 inches. Alright, so there's my word devotion. I'm going to line it up with my kanji. And I'm also going to change the color just for visual. Change that to red also. Now, I have to put a cut line around this design because we are going to be sending it to a cutter. If I click on the word devotion, if you look in the lower left-hand corner here, you can see that the fill is red, but there is no outline. That's what the stroke is. The stroke is your outline. There's none. And in order to put a cut line, it's real easy. I just click on the word none here, and it opens up a docker here. And this docker here, I can, like the stroke style here, if I go click on that tab and the width here, just give it a value of 1. And on the stroke pane here, I'm going to select this one here. And what it'll do is put a black line around the design. And go ahead and close that. Now you can see my devotion here selected. My fill is red and my outline is black. If I go over to my kanji and the word chu, you can see again the fill is red, but there is no outline to this. So I need to do the same thing. I just click on that, opens up my docker, and we'll give it the same size as 1. And the stroke paint on that. And that'll give me a black outline. So now I have an outline around the kanji and the word chu and also devotion. And I'm going to select both of these. And as you can see, there's a box around both of them. So these are actually 2 different objects. I'm going to combine that by going up to Object and group that together as 1. Now, we're going to be sending this to a cutter, and the direction of I want to send it directly from the software. And the direction that the Thermacut sheet is going to be put into the machine is going, this is the front. Here I can draw you a little picture or an arrow here. Don't judge me on my art here. Okay. So that's the direction of the sheet that will be put into, or the Thermacut sheet that will be put into the cutter. I have to have my graphic in a mirror image. And just trust me on this one here. To do a mirror image going this direction here, I want to select this option up here to flip it vertically. And also I'm going to change the size of the reference sheet in the back to represent the same exact size of the sheet that I'm putting into the cutter. And I can do that by going up to File, Document Properties, and I'll bring that box down here. Now, in the Document Properties box here, I want to change a couple things. Number 1, the default units, I always like to change that to inches. That changes the rulers on the page. And down here, custom size here, which we're going to change again, the reference page size. I'm going to change that to inches. And you can see it's 8.27 by 11.69. That is the default. And I'm going to change that to 7.8 by 24, which will actually give me the size of the cutting area of the sheet. And we'll close that box here. And just so we can see it, I'm going to show you that this is the sheet and my graphic here. Again, this is 7.8 by 24 inches. As you can see, my graphic is too long going that direction, so I'm going to change the direction here. I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise here and put it in position. That's about the distance you want between the edge of the sheet and the word. It gives you a little room for for the cutting. And in order to fill up the sheet here, now, for example, if I'm doing 4 sheets or 4 shirts, or if I got 4 different graphics, whatever, I can Control D to duplicate my design, and I'll just select all of them and Control D again. And there may be an easier way, but this is awfully easy to be able to do. Now, you can see I can get 4 up on this sheet here, this Thermacut sheet. And now I'm ready to send that to the cutter. Get rid of my arrow here. And the actual sending it to the cutter, I'm going to do that in video number 2, and we'll send that to the cutter. You'll see the cutting. But I'm Mel Mibers, and join me in video number 2.